What is up, guys? It's your boy Andy Arts. Welcome back to my art channel. I haven't made a drawing video in weeks, but I am back, and I'm going to we're gonna be drawing the female anatomy again because amongst many other things, people just seem to love to draw the female anatomy. So I decided to make another video. So this one's gonna be more of a full body pose, and then we're gonna do another pose of the girl kind of like lifting up her arms, and so that we can focus more on the chest area. And yeah, so right here, what we're doing is basically starting out with the basics. A circle, and a circle for the head triangle, color drawing the neck area of the female. So like always, we draw a line to show kind of like the collarbone where the arms are, well, where the shoulders are gonna be. And I always like to draw the rib cage, right? The rib cage is a very important part because it is the structure of the torso. If you can get the rib cage, shaped correctly, then you can get the rest of the body correctly. Um, and the rib cage is basically like this egg type of shape. And you have to be careful because since we're drawing a female, you cannot draw the rib cage too big. A lot of people might not be aware of this, but a woman's rib cage is smaller than a man's rib cage. So a woman's rib cage is about like, I think, like 10% smaller than a man's rib cage. So this is scientific. I'm not making this up. So you guys you can Google it and look up some anatomical facts about the human body of male and female. And after the rib cage, of course, we're going to draw the pelvic area, and up here we're drawing the circles for the shoulders. And we're just going to straighten some things. And this area is very tricky because here, from the rib cage to the pelvic, we're supposed to show kind of like the curves of the female, a curvy female here, and I'm gonna draw down the legs in this open pose here. I think I might have drawn the head a little too big, but we can fix that later. Bring down the legs. Right here, the shoulder muscles. A woman's shoulder muscles are much smaller than a man's, unless of course she's been like working out like crazy. If she's like a bodybuilder, then that'll be a different story. But we're drawing, just kind of like an average girl here, not necessarily like a muscle mommy, as they call it, a muscle girl. I'm just kind of like drawing out the pose. Alright, so I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. All right, so speed it up a little bit to show, the area that we're going to be working on. And you can see I drew the chest cavity, right? The rib cage cavity, and now we're drawing the area of the chest. So you guys got to pay attention to those muscles with the shoulders, how they connect to the chest area of a female, and then the breast, depending on the breast size. They don't exactly go past the cavity of the rib cage. They kind of like on top of it, right? They're kind of like on top of it. As a matter of fact, let me zoom in here. Right, so this is looking pretty smooth, right? With the anatomy thus far is pretty smooth. We've drawn a nice curvy woman here. Um, Again, the rib cage is smaller than a man's rib cage, and always pay attention to the pelvic area. And now the arms, we're just kind of finishing up the arms to show her pose. I'm just gonna fast forward this a little bit. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna erase some of the guidelines. We're gonna erase the guidelines here. Going to erase these guidelines, and then we're gonna draw over with a thinner, with a 0.5 lead pencil to thin out the line. So, gonna fast forward here. Okay, great. So this is looking pretty neat. The anatomy is pretty accurate. I hope you guys are actually learning something from this. Right, so, and I'm just drawing the hand up here. Hands are the hardest part, but since we're not like zooming in so much, I'm gonna draw like just a simple hand pose here. I'm gonna draw a simple hand pose here. But the anatomy looks good. The chest area, pelvic area, it all looks good. And we're gonna go ahead and go on to our next pose, which is pose with the arms up. So we're gonna draw the arms up pose, starting with a circle like always for the head. All right, wonderful. And I'm gonna go ahead and zoom into the area that we're drawing in. All right, so here we go. And like always, so since her arms are up, we're gonna like have to draw the collarbones in the direction that the arms are going. Right, and I'm gonna immediately draw the rib cage. So the rib cage for females is about 1.5 the size of the head. So basically counting heads down. Yeah, 1.5. So if you look at the rib cage, it's about like the size of her head plus like 1/2 more of the head. I mean, a little hard to explain. But just think of the rib cage. It just has to be longer than the head, not twice as long, but like 1.5 in length of the head, right? And I do the chest cavity. Now I'm drawing the lines. You kind of have to imagine like the curved area, and here we're drawing the pelvic area. In case you're wondering, the pelvic area, we're drawing kind of like those discs where the legs are attached, right? Right. So those drawing these curves. Remember that women have like wider, a wider pelvis than men. Men have like a smaller pelvis, more like a blocky square pelvis, than women have like a more wider, rounder pelvis. Keep that in mind, because remember, females give birth. They have babies, so they gotta be a little wider down there. Yeah, it's the most painful thing about being a female, I guess. I mean, I imagine, I'm not a female, but I imagine it's giving birth. It's like the most painful thing ever. Ask your wife or girlfriend. They'll tell you. What do I know? I'm a guy. I'm a guy. What do I know? All right, so these circles here are for the shoulders, kind of like the, those arm muscles, the bicep. No, not the bicep, the, what do you call it? Deltoid? Man, I do not know my body parts, and I draw them all the time. I'm such a shame. And I want you guys to pay attention here because see how I draw those circles, and from those circles, that muscle there, the kind of like the attachment to the breast are a cascade. You know, they fall upon the chest, right? So they're attached to the shoulders, to the shoulder muscles, and right from there they cascade into like these round spheres on these round spheres. Oh my god, I sound ridiculous. They cascade and form these round shapes on the, on the torso of the female, right? I explain things in the silliest ways. Now I'm gonna draw the arms up, right? There we go. And now I gotta show that line for the scapula that's holding up the arms attached to the collarbone in the back of the body. There we go. That's looking good. That is looking pretty good. And again, I drew this pose specifically just to show like how to draw the breast area. And again, the breast kind of go on top of the rib cage, right? It doesn't really go past the cavity, and that also depends on the size of the chest of the breast of the female. But also if they're much bigger, then of course it might fall a little over the cavity of the pelvic area, the pelvic bones. Right, so I'm drawing her the arms up position, kind of like a little over. I have a hand hidden behind her head because hands are hard to draw. So sometimes you like to hide the hands to save time. Hands are so hard to draw. Yeah, I think I did this. I think that arm's a little. All right, so let's go ahead and fix this over here. Again, I'm just trying to fix these these muscles that connect to the collarbone to make them look, proportionally correct. And join those neck muscles as well. Right, so. Alright, so I'm just drawing kind of like these guidelines around the body, kind of like the lines that go down to her tummy. There we go. And the crotch area. And the little bums in behind. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix this, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so our female anatomy is looking good. I'm just drawing some last lines here for the tummy of our girl here, and just show those lines. I guess a little bit of abdominals. She's kind of fit, and yeah. All right, so that's gonna be pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I'm gonna do more female anatomy videos because these are fun to do, and this is like, the female body is really difficult to draw, so I think a lot of people appreciate these videos. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications, like the video, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Peace out.